Hello, hello, my beautiful people. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Gertie and I'm the counselor and transformational coach at Butterfly Project. So today I wanted to do a video, kind of an extension, piggybacking off of the video I previously did. And if you have not watched that video, I will post a link for it up here so you can watch it. And I really do encourage you to watch that video. It was one of the more in-depth videos that I've done, and it is jam-packed with some really great information that I know will be helpful for you. So take a look at that. But what I didn't mention in that video was when we are distracting ourselves and we're avoiding something within ourselves, and we will use distractions to do that. A lot of times, most of the time actually, this can actually be on a subconscious level, like you're not really aware that you're doing it. So you're not really doing it on purpose, but as I say to all my clients, awareness is key. So once you become aware of this, then we can change it. And knowledge is power. So once you know the information, you can actually change this. But once you become aware that you are avoiding something, then you can do something about it. However, one of the things that we do to avoid, what I call doing the inner work, right? So this is anything from dealing with your inner self. Maybe it's doing inner child healing work. Maybe it is, you connecting to your spirit, spirituality, your spiritual self, connecting to God, your higher self, inner self, whatever it is that you believe, right? Doing that kind of inner work. Meditation to really escape the ego, right? To kind of silence the ego, learn how to listen to your intuition. All of these things, are things that we would do if we're doing the inner work, right? And this inner work is in regards to any kind of, trauma, any wounds, anything from our past. This could be past, situations, relationships, or our childhood, or sometimes all of it, right? And when we have things that we need to heal, sometimes we will use things to distract ourselves from doing that inner healing work, right? So that's why I call it the inner work. If you start, or you might start finding that you will do things like hang out with lots of people, maybe get into relationships. Maybe it's, having lots of fun, going out partying, going and doing lots of different activities, just anything. And I mean, those things are good, right? Don't get me wrong. Those things are good. But it depends on, what the motive is, right? And so if you're doing these things a lot just to keep yourself busy, work is another one, anything to keep yourself busy. I mean, addictions could be it as well, to avoid having to look at, those painful parts, and then to actually do the inner work to heal those, to unpack them, to do something about them, and to change them, right? And this is one of the biggest things I do with my clients, right? It's the inner, child healing work, but it's also the subconscious mind reprogramming. That is what I do the most with people. And I have found, tremendous success with that. And, it's helped so many people. So that is the inner work. And what happens is people tend to try to avoid, doing that work. And what I see happen a lot is that a lot of times we will, choose situations or maybe relationships that will allow us to escape having to do that and put it on the other person or even that situation to do the work for us. And a lot of times it has to do with in relationship with someone else. And so we'll try to put that onto somebody else to do the work for us, meaning you want people that you're in a relationship with to behave a certain way, to respond to you in a certain way, to make you feel good, and doing all these things. And when that doesn't happen, it's like that person, loses value, or it's like, oh, this isn't, what I want, or it's not working, because we're putting it on the other person to do the work. The other way we do this is to try to, feel better, right? So get the energy from other people or situations or whatever it is, right? So a lot of people, and I experience this a lot, and if you're an empath, you'll resonate with this, but people that are very high vibrational, they're empaths, they have a lot of, what we call light around them, right? They're somebody that walks in a room and just, lights up the room. People that, are really lit up from within. The reason they are that way is because they have done the work, or they're really tapped into that inner part of themselves. And for the most part, like I said, they have done the work within themselves. And when they do this, right, they're really shining brightly. This is why, you hear of people, glowing up. This is what it's about. It's people are glowing up and they're shining bright, but it's coming from within them. And then other people are drawn to that. And that's okay as long as you're willing to do the work on yourself as opposed to extract it from that person. And what I mean by extract it from that person is, to just, have their light shining onto you and them making you feel good and, propping you up. And then when they're not maybe actively doing that, or maybe they're not in your presence, you go back to old habits, old patterns, that kind of thing. So you're not doing the work. You're only feeling good and all of that when you're connecting to that person's inner, work, basically, right? They've done the work, they're shining. And so a lot of times people will tend to do that. I know this is kind of a deeper concept and something that people might not realize. But for me as an empath, it's something I'm very aware of because I get really drained by other people because I do, spread a lot of positivity and I'm always doing work on myself. So, I am somebody that is, shining and people are really drawn to that, right? The moth to the flame scenario. And that is very true. And that's okay. But it's, you have to kind of step up. You have to level up and do the work within yourself as well, not just expecting other people to do the work for you. This reminds me of like back in school days when, somebody was like a book, worm, I guess you could call it, but somebody that's, really not just smart, but they do the work, right? They would do the assignments, they would, answer the questions, whatever it is, even on tests. And then you have that person that doesn't want to invest, doesn't want to do the work. They just want to get the answers, meaning they just want the benefit, right? Without having to do the work. And that is my point to this video and this message is that it's you possibly wanting to have the, results, right? The effects, the rewards of the inner work without having to do the inner work. And so what you tend to do is extract that or try to get it from other people by, connecting to those people. And if that one, it doesn't work out or whatever it is, then you go to another one and, or always spending time with, and it could be friends, it could be family, it could be whatever, but constantly, going to other people, to make you feel like you've done the inner work, have the rewards, have the effects of the inner work without actually doing it. I hope this video made sense to you all, and I hope that it was helpful. This is something that, like I said, I've seen in my own life, my whole life over the years, and also, I've seen in my clients. It is actually something that, in my work that I do as, a counselor, and I consider myself a healer. That also includes that my, energy, right, is very healing for people. And so when people come, and have sessions with me, even if it's online, right, because we do face to face, you can see me. So what tends to happen is that I get very drained after sessions and I have to take some time to kind of, recharge and rest and recuperate. And this is why I have to do fun things in my life and all that, do all the things, take care of myself. Self-care is very important because in those sessions, it's not just the mental, emotional work that I am doing, but people are also getting the healing energy from me, from being in my presence, or connecting with me, right? So that can really, tend to drain me. And I found that, I have to learn how to set my limits. And so if you are the person on the other end of this, right, it's learning how to set boundaries, not just actual boundaries, but like energetic boundaries and this is why it's so important. Who do you give your time to? Who do you spend time with? Who do you allow into your life, right? And if you're someone on the other end where you are not doing the inner work, I really encourage you to do that, to really take a look at what's going on within you that you maybe have been avoiding or distracting yourself from. And if you just take an inventory of, things that have happened in your life, you can usually pinpoint exactly what this is that you're avoiding, and then you can face it and actually do something about it. And doing something about it is that inner work, right? So it's a lot of, I won't go into it in this video, but what I do with clients, right? And it's kind of a holistic approach. There's a lot of pieces to that puzzle. It's that web that I talked about. So it's, doing a lot of, healing those, the childhood wounds. It's going back and really mostly dealing with that in the subconscious mind and reprogramming those beliefs and assumptions and all of that. I don't really dive into actual specific, events or anything. I just want to see like what's the beliefs. And once I have that, now let's, reprogram that. And then, usually we don't even have to talk much about, past relationships or anything. I mean, we can a little bit to see if there's like a pattern, but typically it's going to stem from your childhood, and that's how you deal with things. That's how you get triggered. That's how, you react or you act, or, why it is possibly even that you are avoiding. Okay. So you could be distracting yourself and avoiding, doing the actual work, and then wanting other people to do the work for you, to make you feel better and to have the rewards and the effects without actually doing it for yourself. So I really encourage you, to take time to do that inventory and then do the healing work, inner child healing, subconscious mind reprogramming, any kind of meditation, spirituality work, all of this, self-love, self-worth, all of this, combined with other things, doing things that really nurture yourself and get you to a place of feeling really solid, stable, and secure within yourself, so that then you aren't, trying to distract yourself or avoid doing this inner work. And then also it allows you to go after your goals, to go after your dreams. And when it is in relationship with other people, then you are definitely going to come as a more whole person. It doesn't mean that you have to be perfect and completely healed to be in relationship, because actually there's another piece in relationship. We do a lot of the inner work, right? And then in relationship, this is where we get triggered by different things. And then, in that, we do more healing, and a lot of healing has to be done, in union. But that is a conversation for another video. All right, my loves. So hopefully this was helpful for you. If you would like any help with this, don't forget my information is always in the description box below. You can reach out to me. I do sessions with people all over the world online, and it works out pretty great. And if you're, where I am, then we can, do that, or we can set up time in person. And also, if you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and be part of this ever-growing butterfly community. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get notified of new videos as I post them. And also, don't forget to do all the things like this video, comment down below, share my video and channel with others. I would truly appreciate doing any number of these things. It really does help my channel to grow, to help my messages get out there. And if you know me, you know that one of my biggest passions is to help as many people as I possibly can. All right, my loves. So as always, I wish you all peace, love, and light. Till next time. Bye-bye.